Much of the innovation in cardiovascular IT and imaging has been focused on adult hearts. So, from your perspective, what are the biggest gaps in pediatric imaging today, and how does technology like Ventripoint's AI-driven RV modeling begin to close them?
Great question. Pediatric cardiology imaging is really its own specialty. There's a number of gaps that we perceive. I'll touch on these as we move forward. So one of them is that children are not merely small adults. So there's really a poor fit of adult tools to pediatric anatomy. So many of the tools that we are using are really derived from adults. These are algorithms and normative ranges. They don't necessarily translate well to small and rapidly changing hearts. Remember, these children are growing from the stage of being neonates to teenagers. They're rapidly growing. The heart size and shape is changing. This rapid change can often result in biased measurements and some diagnoses that are missed. Another gap, I think, is really the complexity of the right ventricle. The right ventricle is crescent-shaped. The shape of it is irregular, and there's great variability between patients. This is particularly true with congenital heart disease. Many of the assumptions that are used in 2D echocardiography just are biased such that they're systematically mismeasuring the size and the function of the right ventricle. Cardiac MRI is well recognized as the gold standard. However, there's limited access to that, particularly in Canada. It's accurate, but it's expensive. Accessibility is limited in smaller centers or remote centers. It often requires sedation and anesthesia in patients, with the pediatric patients, and the wait times can be very long. So for patients, such as pediatric patients with congenital heart disease, the fact that they need to be measured serially over time means that there's repeated long waits for imaging. Echocardiography is ubiquitous, it's everywhere. However, the standard 2D echo is really operator dependent. So doing these serial measurements, between different sonographers or readers and across different centers makes it very challenging to track these patients longitudinally and between centers. Small patients too, I think at times are maybe not that compliant with remaining still or trying not to move too much. So, even for gold standard methods such as MRI, we can run into challenges just from the fact that these small patients are often moving around or uncooperative. In the case of echo, the acoustic windows that are necessary for successful echo are sometimes not that good. A lot of the workflow too is not seamlessly sort of organized. So manually contouring and doing the measurements can be very time consuming. In very busy departments, this sort of limits capacity and the ability to really optimally sort of manage patients. And then finally, I think, if you look at these silos of data and AI capabilities, the data is really fragmented. So in terms of being able to coordinate care and follow up, that can be very challenging.